Hey, I'm Plemya, and today we are going to learn on how to create aesthetic interiors. So let's get started. Today we are going to recreate this pretty interior. So we will start from the basics, like creating the geometry and understanding the principle what makes this image pretty and aesthetic. So let's take a look at our reference. Actually, this is not a photo, this is a render. So you can see here it's made by using pretty minimalist design and pretty minimalist furniture. So here we can see the composition that looks like this. Let me create it. So by the rule of thirds, we can see the main points of our image focused in this angle. So here are our dominant objects, like this sofa. And this helps us understand the principle of the composition of this frame. So it will give us some tips on how to understand, on how to build this image. So first, what we should do is to figure out on how to build our geometry. Let's find out. Here I will break down also the geometry on the basic parts. So the first one is going to be our ceiling. This is going to be the first part. Second part will be this frontal wall with these elements right here. The third is going to be wall right here, and the fourth part is going to be this floor. So now let's save our screenshot. By the way, I'm using the PureRef program. This is the program that helps us to work with references, and it's more convenient for using reference by overlaying the 3ds Max like this. So in the next step, I'm using the program called SlideShot for editing the screenshots and make my work more faster. So this is our first principle right here. And also I wanted to say that my goal is not to recreate this image one by one by not copying it, but by creating the similar image with the same vibe and same atmosphere. So let's get started from building the geometry. Here I will create the box. Let's turn off the frame like this, and let's create the box, which is going to be our floor. Let's specify our floor like 6 meters on 6 meters with the height of, let's say, 100 millimeters. Okay, this is going to be our floor, our base. So let's take a look on where does it placed on the frame. So I would like to make our floor start on the 0 level that goes right here. And I can actually make it by indicating here -100 by z-axis. And great, now we can move to the creating the walls that is placed right here. So let's create them also using the box option like this. I'm going to use AutoGrid method for creating my walls right on this surface. Okay, so let's continue. This is going to be our first part. Again, my goal is to recreate the scene as fast as I can and as simple as I can, so you will understand the basics on how to create those scenes by yourself. So yeah, let's continue with the modeling. Now I would like to snap my wall to our floor right here and right here. I just copied this part like this. Now I'm going to convert it to editable poly, and I'm going to create this little part right here. Let's attach it and take let's take a look at the measures. So our walls right here is about 2 meters, which is not enough. So I would like to make them higher, like this. I just snap it to the 0 level, and not by selecting other stuff, just by keep top dots selected or vertices selected. I'm just going to again bring them to the 0 level, and now I will just make them 3 meters in height, like this. Okay, so now we got our part right here, which looks already good, but I would like to edit it a little bit more. This part goes more here and right here. Okay, now let's create this wooden part right here. So let's create it also with the box, convert to editable poly, select vertices, and let's snap it to this wall like this and like this. Great, so here we got already our wall with the wooden elements like this. Now let's make it a little bit thinner like this, and again let's create these parts right here. Actually, I was thinking about on creating this element, not the wooden, but let's say metal, to bring more diversity into this image. So let's continue. Now I will simply add the ceiling like this. I'm just holding the shift and dragging up my floor, and this is how I create my ceiling. Pretty simple, right? So now let's select this lower image, lower part like this, and let's snap it to our walls. Great. And here I would like to again copy our walls like this, and now let's snap them to our side. Let's delete this part and simply move our wall to the edge like this. Okay, so seems like we got now our basic geometry for our scene, which is pretty good. So now let's take a look at the frame. So it's vertical, right? And we can simply create the camera. So we can see the same frame in camera. For this we are going to the camera, Corona camera, and I would like to unselect the snaps. Let's select our target, move it to the 0 like this, and again our camera to the 0 like this. So I'm making this camera on the 0 level also to make it possible look straight forward, to imitate this view like this. Now let's select our target line, move it forward, and now let's select our camera, which is right here. So press Shift plus F, and this is how we can see our view right here. It's not pretty accurate. That's because we have to set up our frame measures. So let's move to render setup. Here we can select the common, and I would like to select the basics settings for our frame, which is custom. Now let's indicate here 1000 and 1333 by height. This is how we got our vertical frame like this, but our reference is a little bit wider, right? But actually I would like to make our image more vertical to adapt it maybe to the future Reels or Instagram renders. Okay, so great, now let's continue. Here we can see that the process. Here we can see the camera view, and let's set up it. So here I would like to adjust our view a little bit like this. Let's move to the corona, select camera, and let's make higher field of view, let's say 60, like this, and it is already pretty accurate, right? Okay, so let's now create our shelves like this. So let's move again to the perspective view. Here we can select create in the box like this. I'm selecting AutoGrid to be able to create these parts right here. So this is going to be our back wall. Let's convert it to editable poly like this, and let's edit its size maybe like this. I don't think this part is pretty deep, so yeah, I think this is enough. Okay, now I can see that those parts of walls had some I would say chamfers, so we would like to edit it a little bit later. Now let's create those bottom part, this part right here, and these two shelves. Okay, I will simply copy this part right here. Okay, select this little vertex right here. Now let's edit our part, select our dots, move it lower like this, and now let's create this shelf right here. I'm selecting the whole element by pressing button 5, move it higher like this, and I would simply adjust this size to this level. Now let's create a little, let's make it a little bit smaller to match this part right here. Same goes for this part right here. So pretty good. I really like this geometry and how it turns out. So let's create our second and third shelves. Here I can see that they are actually pretty big, like this, maybe even more like this. Okay, now let's select this top element, copy this object, and copy this object again. So, well, now we got our shelves, but here I can see that they are pretty thin. So we should do our shelves wider, like this. So let's edit it. I would like to move my wall somewhere here and right here, like this. Now let's attach all the objects like this and like this, 1 and 2. Okay, and here is also pretty small but interesting part. We've got actually here a little bit part of the wall, so I think it's going to be maybe like this. Okay, got it. So let's also fix it a little bit like this, and yeah, now I think our shelves is done. So here let's add this element right here. This is going to be simply the box like this. Again, I'm creating this like a speedrun interior, so yeah, you can just take a look on how to create this model in pretty fast mode. So yeah, here I've got this element like this. I would like to make it smaller and move it more like this. It's going to be our second element and third element. Okay, seems like we are moving closer, so let's save our scene. This is going to be the YouTube interior. Okay, and let's upload some of the models right now. So I've already got them prepared, and now I will upload them into the scene. So let's do it. And yeah, one important part is to don't forget that when we are creating the folder with our interior, also we should create a folder called models and textures for our scene. So let's start to break down the elements that we got in our scene. So it would be like, let's find out. So the first one is this chair, second is this table, third is this sofa, fourth this carpet, then decor 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. So we got 4 main elements and 4 decor, right? So yeah, let's save it. Now let's upload it like this. We are going to models, and actually I'm gonna so I will leave links to the models in the description, so you will check it out later. So I would like to start by creating this first folder with our chair, and let's upload it like this. Let's move it slower, turn it a little bit on 45 degrees, I think. Now our decor, another one, soft, and carpet like this. Okay, so now I uploaded all the models, and now let's start to place them into our scene. Here are our new lamp like this. So okay, now let's edit our table a little bit like this. Let's mirror our sofa and place it like this. And I think we can somehow edit this part right here. Let's select our angles. So let's edit our geometry a little bit like this, convert to editable poly like this, and mirror it by this side. So it's maybe even better to left it as it is, but let's edit our size of the table a little bit like this, and let's place it more realistic. So here is the variations for the materials, we don't need them, and I think like this will be enough for today. And now let's place our geometry here. So I will edit this lamp to make it to like some focus for our interior. Now our decor like this. Let's turn it a little bit, move it this way. Okay, so for now I think our geometry modeling stage is pretty accurate, so we can move. So see you on the next lesson, where we are going to work on geometry more precisely and moving to the stage of the lightning. So see you soon.